This is EU4, a cool game, and with EU5 being hyped and support for EU4 being shelved after a last patch, everything about it must work perfectly with no problems. For a Potato PC user, time has helped, as my latest PC can run EU4 faster than Speed 3, but now however requires a full load of the game files to get to the main menu. Whoever did this should be given a Potato PC for a day. EU4 has a lot of DLC that helped the game develop over the years, that also added content to the base game. Very nice, however replacing parts of the base game with shiny DLC has problems, like when Religion had all their game mechanics removed. As for the current build, just don't play as a native, as you can't build the native buildings needed to progress, like forming formidable nations. As for me, I started buying the DLC and it has pained my miserly heart. So if you like grand strategy games, I would recommend just picking one from the Paradox series to buy DLC for, as anything else is just too painful. What I want to show today is how easy the 100-year war is without DLC. So here goes, hopefully without too many restarts. As we load into England, we need to find out the rivalries of our potential allies. We want to ally as many people surrounding France as possible. Austria is a must-have. However, they don't seem to be allied or rival to France. Let's have a look. Burgundy, Aragon, Castile. Burgundy would be good, but they're usually enemies, hard-coded in. Truly unfortunate. Progress by a day to give Castile an alliance option. Now this will be difficult because allying two rivals is going to be problematic. We'll see if we can make Burgundy friendly, though I doubt it. The Stark rivals, minus 100 opinion, plus claims on provinces, not good. Provence might be a good secondary option. However, they're not rival to France. Maybe Brittany? Send alliance option. With England, a lot of the money is going straight into heavy ships. We, however, only need to beat France. So that'll be 2 heavy ships probably. Will be perfectly fine. That'll be a lot more money. No debate in Parliament. What could we want? We'll see how the start begins. Diplo rep might sometimes be a possibility. I have very limited knowledge of state policies. However, I do know the diplo power and admin power and military power is excellent to have. slowly reclaim the Crown land. And of course, advisors. National unrest seems good. We want improved relations, even at the increased cost. Royal Army seems pretty good. This is where we decided to go with Catholicism or the Reformation. Don't care about that at the moment. I do want to shuffle the army straight over the channel. 18 transport seems a bit excessive, but may need it. Something else I like to do is just remove this fort. Who cares about that region anyway? If we get sieged down, well, looming disaster. Which one do we have? All of roses. Oh dear. Usually an inevitability. Can't be avoided. Let's see, save a bit of money. We want as much money as possible for mercenaries, so we will lower maintenance. And who cares about the fleet at the moment? Probably should care about trading. Maybe pull from the North Sea, but that actually would weaken France more, pulling up. May want to see if there's any unions we can grab, as long as we deal with War of the Roses first. War marriages seem good, and then we want to check what allies we made. Let's see if Aragon will ally. Maybe, hopefully, probably not in time. We will require as much improved relations with these countries. That is why I am accepting all marriages from them. See if my potato PC will speed up, maybe. What may be noted is that the AI can easily perform this strat and win the 100 Years' War. They usually take territory and leave a personal union till later. I will go for the personal union just to show it can be done. Here we go. We shall never surrender. Pause the game. And the most important thing is allies aren't called into the war. France does not call allies into the war. It is a mano a mano, one-on-one. However, we can call in allies after the fact. That's one. What mission did we form? Oh, just War of France. I believe this just gives us claims, which will be easy, or not easy, but helpful. And then we will probably need money. Loans are terrible in all circumstances. So we shall go to estates, burghers, and see if we can nab money from them. That's 800 gold. If it wasn't a Catholic we're fighting, I would grab Defender of the Faith for the bonus. Is it morale? Morale of armies? Yes. And war exhaustion removal, always useful. How this works is that every ally that goes to low will be pieced out. We do not want that, as we need every ally to win against France. We do not need to improve relations with Castile anymore. With Austria, we might want to speed up the process with a gift, as after a certain amount of time, allies can't join a war. They can only join at the beginning of a war. So, gift. My terrible combat in this game is already producing terrible results. To be honest, don't care too much, as I want to call in allies. Almost. Trust Diplo Rep. Swap him out for Diplo. Perhaps that will help. Excellent. How many other allies do I have? Let's see. That might not have been the best choice for an ally. Oh well. Let's see, where's the French Navy? Doesn't seem to be doing too well. That's completely understandable. Join the fleets up. And oh, that's quite loud. Naval battle. That's not what I expected. France seems to have light ships. I think Utrecht helped them out maybe with... What ships do they have? Yes, the light ships. What we want to do is get mercenaries, which will be this button. Mercenaries is why we wanted so much money to begin with. Hopefully Austria will decide eventually to join. Didn't get alliance with Aragon, that's unfortunate. Improve of Burgundy, just for the fun of it. And now, with this stack, see what generals I can roll. Not good, never mind. And not good either. Never mind. Look over draw. Until you outnumber the enemy, which I don't think we do, but the goal is for our allies down south to siege up, catching out AI troops. Hopefully will be good, as they tend to abandon sieges. Getting some good rolls against hopefully weaker troops. I think France has higher morale, which is very tricky at the beginning of the game. So if we can start a debate. For manpower. The lower amount of seats in Parliament we have, the easier it is to pass a bill. That's not good. Catching the army out like that. Another benefit of losing can be to pass all these forts and link up with the armies down south. I was half expecting to get Austria on side, just for the allies. Great. Manpower is not going to be hitting 60% anytime soon. That's not good, but inevitable if this war is to be won. Go around and check the forts. We'll probably leave a capital fort, maybe. The fleet's not repaired, so the only mission will be to protect trade. We will want to move across the channel, as this fort will probably fall. Look over here. Good progress on some forts. We shall pick the mercenaries and sit on this fort. Hopefully these forts will fall before these French troops come south. Let's see if we can catch some of these troops out. Got to use the mercenaries first, as the lower number of mercenaries we have, the cheaper they are. Let's see, what is this? No idea. But hopefully that removes this disaster. Or not. Never mind. Don't care about that too much. What's Switzerland doing in this war? Allied with France? Perhaps they can call in allies. It's never happened before. Does France have any other allies? Yes, Utrecht. We are at war with them too. Should have realised that. Usually France has few to no allies. Hopefully that fight will escalate and they'll trickle in armies. Let's have a look. More damage. That's very good against the French. High morale troops. Looks like the forts down here have been finished off. Grab the mercenaries. What we're aiming for is pretty much 100% war score. So every fort will need to be sieged. Army attrition and navy attrition, or admin power. Doesn't really matter at this point for my goal. But we will need to follow the AI, as when it enters combat, it does take into account your unit strength when making that calculation. The AI will lose all its units, go to low on its war enthusiasm, and then peace out. Probably should siege or attack Switzerland and Utrecht first and peace them out. That's an easy way of weakening an enemy alliance. Do you seem to have an advantage with troop numbers? But if an ally does go to low, they will drop out with all their troops. So that number can change. Right, now these forts are sieged. That is a distraction gone. So they'll start consolidating their troops. Such as this fight, I suspect it does take into account these armies, even though I would prefer if it had not. So we will leave some troops and send up the army, as losing AI allies will mean a loss. It appears I seem to have sort of routed the vassal swarm of France, and luckily didn't have my stack maintaining the siege killed. Now if manpower wasn't so precious, I might storm this castle, as often the time saved is worth it. Depends on circumstances. Excellent. My efforts have not gone in vain. But I'm surprised I can call in an ally at such a late hour of this war. With a manpower deficit, all allies are appreciated. With the inclusion of Austria in this war, hopefully the conclusion is inevitable, even with only 9 war score. The ticking war score in the negative is because we do not have Paris sieged. Even then, last time I looked, 60,000 troops, allied troops, was at the same, which means there are manpower issues everywhere, and the Austrian army has just shored up the deficit. What you can see is the AI goes straight for Austria. So if you do call in Austria earlier on in the war, you must go and protect them. Otherwise they'll be knocked out, and then you will find yourself stranded with not enough troops France is on low, but only Switzerland. What happened to Utrecht? Apparently they were all at with Friesland. No idea what happened there. Another victory siege. I don't think I need to be concerned with any sieges going to allies, as there are no borders. There is a mountain over here somewhere which needs to be avoided, as bad fights can happen there while traversing France. As you can see, Castile, and if I look long enough, maybe Portugal is over here. I probably should send over the mercenaries. Portugal is here. Provence seems to have angered the Pope. See where the mercenaries got to. Not very far. Yes, we need to deal with these troops, and hopefully the French. Looks like the France was weakened enough so that Austria can deal with them on their own. But there are a number of vassal swarm stacks that we will want to crush, as they can stack up to dangerous quantities. And having them here all in one place hopefully will be beneficial, although it appears they're running off. However, time is on our side, as sieging is happening. Castile is on medium. We will probably want to keep an eye on that. Definitely will forget, as France doesn't tend to make it through the forts without being repelled. As I said, the way Austria is open is a lot more dangerous. I think this is the last fort, bar the capital, we need. I think Switzerland is probably going to have a rough time of it too. Maybe increase speed if my potato PC can handle it. I think that might be worth a bit, the -2 national unrest, if I don't take too many more loans. That looks like 2 loans at the unfortunate rate, more expensive rate. At this point, I want to see what sort of status Scotland is in. Definitely angry. Hopefully they will stay their aggression until this war is finished. Yes, use the mercenaries to siege and fight as many fights as possible, because the less there are, the less money we spend on them, and money is going to be other limiting resource other than manpower. I think increasing relationship with countries like Burgundy reduces the chance that we declare war. Just waiting for a few sieges. Check Switzerland, they're on low, so we will sue the peace. We have only 4% war score, only a white peace. That is perfectly fine. The other reason allies are good is because coalition incurred by creating a personal union is quite hefty, especially the HRE members all along here. first idea group might be the one geared to vassals and Diplo app and Diplo relations. Let's see, are there any other possible allies before we peace out? Minus 76 without a war, plus 100. That might have to do. I'm not sure if we will have a chance. It appears France surrendered, so they will auto accept whatever we suggest. To be honest, the cause might just have to be a lost cause. If I was going to do it in pieces, I'd want to take Paris, so we gain for 100 years war goal, or casus belli, or whatever it's called, and these provinces to restrict France's access to the New World. However, a lot of gold will have to suffice, as we have debts to pay. Didn't even check the coalition list, as it is pretty much everyone, and France definitely starts off disloyal. There is a mission that increases loyalty or decision. See, liberty desire in same continent subjects minus 10%. However, that's a bit pointless, because it's at 100 and it only matters if it's 50. Manpower recovery speed plus monarch power probably is good. Let's see if we have enough money. No, that's not good. We also want to choose the loans we pay off. 1% loans will have to wait their turn. Quickly do this. Oh. That's about it. France and a personal union. Let's see what coalition is like. That's all the possible coalition partners. Will absolutely crush if the coalition does trigger. That's why a massive alliance, even at the deficiency of Diplo power, is recommended, as coalitions can be scared off before they even form. And that's it.